So in this video, the outcomes you're going to get are going to be detecting the silos in your company. If you have 1, 2, 3, and maybe more, the type of silos and how to detect them with an example, and the consequences of having silos within an organization, within a company. And obviously, I need to provide you solutions, and at 2 levels, at the organizational level and the technology level. So hopefully you'll like it, and you'll find silos and you'll fix them. I'm Steve Johnston, a serial entrepreneur, and I'm passionate about helping entrepreneurs to succeed. And I'm very excited to use this channel to share all my valuable resources with you to help you reach your goal. Come and join me, let's work together, and we'll get your digital transformation to success. So here we'll see the different types of silos. You can have silos based on roles. You can have silos based on geographical location. You can have silos based on the type of work that the employees are doing or the teams are doing, and also based on the tools. So if we start with based on the roles, I mean, depending if you have like somebody in the management team doesn't talk very well with the people in the marketing team, and they work on their stuff and the marketing works on their stuff and they don't talk to each other much, that's a problem. That's the basis of having a silo. People are working in silo. I'm thinking about my business objective, but I don't think about what marketing and sales, or I don't communicate well the objectives to those teams, especially management to the rest of the group. This is something that you want to avoid at all costs. In terms of geographical location, this is less and less prevalent than before, but still, if the people are not meeting, if they're not doing video conferencing together often enough and talking about the right topics, and I'm not saying that we should do meetings and meetings, I'm saying that on the right topics and well coordinated, I mean, that can create silos. I'm working on my marketing stuff again in my country or in my location, and I don't think that these things can be reused or recycled or be useful to other teams. And I do my stuff, and the other team is another geographical location, does something else. So these two teams, example, are duplicating the work, and it's very efficient for the company. Based on a type of work, and the example that I'm going to show in a few minutes is talking about 1 or 2 examples. Type of work. So, okay, because I'm doing sales and I'm doing accounting, so why we would talk to each other? Yes, you should, because you have forecasts and you have planning, and the finance and accounting team, they need to know that. So, and all these things can be all merged well. You can have like interesting meetings. We'll talk about solutions in a few minutes. And based on tools. So that one is kind of a bit of different, but people are using a project management tool, and another team is using a project management tool that's different, and these tools are not talking to each other. So basically, they created a silo of managing their task one way, and the other team is managing their task in another way, and there is no transfer. So repetition, duplication, waste of time, inefficiencies, that's what silos are. So now I'm going to share you 2 small examples. Again, I'm going back with my marketing team. So let's say in the marketing team, they're working on a nice Word document talking about a nice product that you have. And they created a nice PowerPoint as well that is very useful, could be useful for different teams, especially the sales team. But they work in their silo because they like that, they work well, they don't talk very much with sales or not enough. So sales is going to create something equivalent, not the same at all, because they need it. They need it to perform in their task and their role in their job. And they also create a PowerPoint. So this one maybe won't be as nice as the marketing team, but will be a bit different. But there is still some duplication. So that's a problem. Another example from the sales team to the finance team is they created an Excel for their forecast, for how much revenue they're planning to do, how many customers do they have. Example, if they don't have a CRM, they do that on an Excel spreadsheet, and they don't communicate or they don't collaborate with the finance team. So the finance team will request information to the sales team. Can you provide me this and that and all these numbers so I can plan on my end what to do? But the thing is, there is no file sharing. There is no live collaboration between or on that Excel spreadsheet or whatever the tool they use. So that's not very good. So one way to fix that, a solution to that is having a central location for collaboration that you put in place. It could be Google Workspace, it could be Zoho documents, it could be Microsoft 365 on SharePoint and other solutions. So central location where you put all these 3 files in that case. So these 2 and this one over here, and you can share with the permissions, you can set it up in a way that the marketing team has read and write access to these 2 documents. So they do what they need to do with it, and they give access in read-only to the sales team. So the sales team can use these things very nicely with their customers, with their leads, their prospects, and they don't alter the files because they are blocked in writing. That could be one way. I'm not saying it should be this way, but that's one way of doing it in that case. And we can do the same for between the sales and the finance team, where they're working on their files to put their forecast and all these things, and finance can read that file to pull up the information. So they don't necessarily need to talk to each other. I'm not saying they should not, but at least they can access this file and get the data they want. It could be every Friday, it could be at any time, whatever, or they can send messages. So this way you can break the silos between marketing and sales in that case, between sales and finance in that case. So that's kind of a solution with technology that you can use. So now, what are the consequences of having silos in your company? So first, the data flow is very, very poor. So basically what I mean by data flow is you have different tools, you have different ways of communicating within your company, and the data has to move freely, has to move nicely. And with the tools and technology we have today, that's easy to get something where you can have live collaboration, live sharing. You just have to work out the permissions and have a good document management solution in place to have this data flow. So sending emails left and right to get something to somebody internal to your company, I mean, that's not the best way of doing it these days. You should have a platform online that can help you to share files, whatever it is, but some are better than others. And it could be, it should be permission-based. So this way you can select who has access to it. So if you have data flow that is poor, it's very inefficient for your organization. So you're losing money, you're wasting time. That's really bad. In terms of, again, that's consequences. I mentioned it, resources are not shared. So it means that you have a file, you work on a file, you send it by email as a copy. That group, that team, that person has another copy of the file. It's not the same file. If they do something, it's going to be different. They don't have access to your file. So again, 2 copies of the same information, that's duplication. That's the waste of time and collaboration, and again, duplication. So this is where I'm going. Duplication, documents and tasks. Here it's about sharing documents. Here it's about more project management. So having a central location where all your files are stored and shared with the right permissions, that's the way to go these days to collaborate more, and having 1 copy on the cloud. And yes, I mean, these copy can be modified by somebody else, but you have ways. Certain platforms are better than others, as I said. And what you can do is you can have multiple versions being saved and multiple backup easily accessible by the user. I'm not saying about backups that the IT team has to give you back the file. There are easy ways of having like resiliency and having enough repetition in terms of files or duplications in a good way for you to recover your documents easily if somebody makes a mistake. But the advantages of doing this collaboration is a lot better than having to retrieve a file from a recycle bin in a very easy manner. And by doing these things, there is, in the worst case, I would say in terms of competition between teams, I have my stuff, I don't share it with you, so I'm going to create my own stuff. This is my file, so I don't want them to touch my file. So all these things can happen. And again, if you're a business owner, you don't want that. You don't want that to happen. You want them to collaborate. You want them to collaborate for the objective, for the company, for the sake of the company. So having competition is no good at all because it creates us versus them. So you don't want that. So I know it's not necessarily technical in that sense over here. It's more about psychological at the organization level, but we're going to talk about that as well in a few minutes. Okay, now let's talk about solutions. So 2 levels of solutions in this video. So at the organization level and on the technology level on the next page. So in terms of solutions, having cross-functional teams, I mean the teams, like example, marketing and sales, if you have those cross-functional meetings, they can talk about their objectives, their challenges, their pain points, and this way they can communicate, they can collaborate, and they can find ways to share the information in a safe way and very respectfully of each team and each members. So this is something that's an easy solution depending on the culture of the organization, but this is something that you should work at putting in place ASAP. Culture of transparency. So it's kind of linked, obviously. Transparency means, okay, if I do something, why I don't share it with the other teams? Doesn't have to be any cross-functional meeting per se, but just sharing the information. Say, hey, I created this nice PowerPoint. This is a template. Or I created this spreadsheet about forecasts and I worked hard on doing it. So if you want to use it, let me know, we can share it. So having this transparency of the new tools that people are doing or you are doing. So you need to build that culture. Culture doesn't happen overnight, so you should start sooner and later. Regular meetings, because if you are not talking often or often enough about certain things, you're going to lose track. It's going to be like distance love, so you don't want that. And again, I know we are buried with too many meetings, so this statement isn't about having more meetings than you have, but having good cross-functional meetings that are very helpful to increase the collaboration and develop the culture of transparency to create better collaboration. And having tools to collaborate, which will be covered in the next slide, but having ways of doing that, as I provided in a few slides before, was having a cloud location, a central location where you can really collaborate in live mode. When I say live collaboration, I'm talking about having one file on the cloud and having one to many people accessing and working in the file live instead of being asynchronous and having the files to be sent by emails back and forth. So now the solutions at the technology level. So as I mentioned many times, there's going to be a repetition in this slide a bit because we're getting at the end, cloud-based solutions. When it is on the cloud, this is safe. This is at the top. Everybody can access it. Everybody can sync with those cloud solutions. So that's the best way to have a central location for better collaboration, less repetition, less duplication, and better efficiency overall. Project management, if you have tools or if you do whatever, it could be everybody has to manage their task. I'm sure you have projects within your company, so you should have a way to manage tasks, manage projects. So that should be on the cloud. And you have very, very, very inexpensive tools these days that you can use on the cloud that are very easy to learn, the Kanban style. If you do like more traditional way of waterfall planning, you can do all these things in the same tool. And please use only one tool for the entire company. Don't scatter too much in a number of tools, which is a good thing. So this way you can collaborate. You can have those cross-functional teams and meetings working on the same project management tool. So that's better for everybody. That's better for your business. Data sharing platform. It sounds like cloud-based as well. Yes, it is. But in terms of data, so you can have different sources. If you have a knowledge management plan or solution, even if it is manual or automatic, you should share, you should gather all those data sources of information, documents, articles, and all these things in one location that everybody has access. And something that and we can do a video about it, is from the data sharing platform, having a knowledge base, but also perhaps, depending on your case, having a publication database that you put available to your public or internally or both, or to specific partners. So that could be a different topic in itself. And having communication tools that are very good, very easy to do direct messaging between teams. So again, better collaboration, faster, and also it can be asynchronous. And it's not that I don't like emails, but having direct messages simplifies. You don't need to craft a long and polite email. You can go straight there and just type the thing. They know it's you. You know it's that person or it's them. And because it's within a group or within a project, they know it's about this project. So you don't need to write an email saying, oh, hi, blah, blah, blah. This is about this project. What about this and that? You don't have to do that. It's already in there. You're in a project. You send a message to that person. You're that person. So this way, you're saving a lot of, I would say, time for typing emails. And it stays there, and the other team members can see it as well. Everybody involved in the project sees it. So that's perfect. And last but not least, online training solutions. You know that I'm focusing a lot on people. If you have seen my video about people, process, technology. So here we talk about people. They need to know how to use the tool. Technology is not doing everything for you, for them. They need to be trained on the tool. And yes, you train them, but they can forget. And you have newcomers in the teams as well. So having online training solutions, you have your videos, you can leverage the vendors' videos and tutorials, bring that on your platform in a central location for your actual employees to look at them, to be trained by them, to auto-train themselves. And also the new onboarded people can go there and know what's going on. It can be proficient at the tool very quick, which is again, very efficient for a company. And they like it because they feel that they participate, so they are involved. And you can make changes and you can have better success in your digital journey. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe below and set up the notifications. I'm on a mission to help entrepreneurs to be successful in their transformation. Stay tuned for more videos and don't forget to comment below with your ideas or any topics you'd like me to discuss for you.